guys, it's me. I hope you're having a wonderful night. And I got tagged today by Ksmama81. Thank you, by the way. And I'm here to tell you my 5 things that made my year great. So, let me think. Well, the first is definitely my, journey to this new path, finding it, and meeting the freaking amazing people here in this community. I feel, at home at this community. I think there's something to be said about, how we are spread all over the world. And, we are all completely different people. Most of us have never met each other in person or even talked to each other on the phone. I mean, some of us have, but most of us haven't. And we all have varying times in the craft. Some of us aren't even Wiccan. Some of us are pagan, just pagan, or they're another sect of paganism. And that we, have definitely overcome the rough times that have came and still got through it. And we are a family, pretty much, in a sense. And I think that is one of the best things that happened to me this year. So thank you guys, because you guys are part of it. So number 2 is, and these are in no particular order. Number 2 is my year of service with the AmeriCorps, with City Year. I've never experienced such a profound, I don't even know how to explain this. Sorry for that awkward pause. I have never experienced something so profound that has changed my view on life and has changed the person I am. I have always done service in school. I spent a week for 3 consecutive years in the Gulf Coast, in Mississippi, doing Katrina relief. And, I said that was something that made an impact on me. And everything I have done has made an impact on me. But this is so profound. I got a lot of crap for it. My own family did not condone it. They didn't understand why I busted my ass for 3 years to get out of school a year early, to finish a year early, to have the debt that comes along with going to a private college. And they couldn't fathom why I would want to go into a job for a year that paid almost nothing. Paid so little that if you lived on your own in the city, you qualified for food stamps. We got paid so little. So, and they just couldn't understand. I don't want to teach. So why would I be going into the inner city to teach? Especially in a public school where I am so not part of. I grew up in Catholic school. I'm a firm believer in the Catholic education. I know, ironic, because I am Wiccan now. But that's another story. But, so, people they didn't understand. And especially knowing that every day, I could face the idea that I wouldn't come home. That something could happen to me because of the parts of the city I was in. And things that went on down there. So, I know that City Year slogan is, give a year, change the world. Well, I may not have changed the world, but I certainly changed the lives of the people that I worked with, the children I worked with, and even the people whose rec center got renovated by us, or somebody that I just handed out a sheet of information about City Year, and they realized that City Year was for them, and they joined this year's Corps. So I did make a difference, and I saw what life is like on the other side, you know. I thought my life was rough at times. It is nothing compared to what my kids went through down at the school, the kids I taught. So that was number two. And I made a family there. People I worked with were my family. So number three was seeing the change in presidency. I hated Bush. I'm sorry for the people who liked him. I didn't like him at all, and I was so excited when I saw the polls that night that Obama had won, and I couldn't believe it, kind of in a way, because it's one of those things where like you always think that something could be rigged. That you know the whole thing that happened with Bush and Gore. It made you doubt the system. But the people spoke. And to walk into Philadelphia the next day and to see the way people were like, they were glowing. And it was just amazing for me to see. I studied sociology and anthropology, so like the study of people and their culture and the way that they look at the world, that completely interested me, and how that affected people, during that election. So, number four. So this one is going to be the fact that my father has a son that nobody knew about. Apparently, he got a woman pregnant when he was stationed in the United States before he was sent overseas during Vietnam. So he had no idea I'm almost 23 years old, had no idea for my whole life that my father had a son somewhere. So my brother is from up way north, and I found out last July about him, and couldn't believe how he was like a carbon copy of my father, like in appearance. My brother, my regular brother, looks more like my mother. And to see like the one person in our family now who looks exactly like my father is really weird. So last November I actually got to meet him. He came down with his wife and visited. So that was phenomenal, finding out that I had another brother. So my last and final one, number 5. Now, any of you who went to college and came out in so much debt, your eyes like rolled back in your head when you saw the bills, you can relate. I actually just paid off completely 2 of my biggest loans. My mother gave me, when I started City Year, my mother and I spoke about how there's no way I could afford the loan payments for these 2 private loans that I have, and it would be financially impossible for me to pay them and my bills and just able to live with my City Year stipend. So my grandfather had died a year before I started City Year, like 9 months, and she'd received her inheritance. And so my mom gave me, I told her it's a loan. I plan to pay her back because it's kind of money out of her retirement. She gave me $20,000 to pay off my loans. And I was about, I want to say $1,000 short, because they decided that they were gonna put in this magical $900 paperwork fee for closing my loan out early. So beware of that. I was very angry because I paid it off like a lump sum. So then just this month I finished paying off that $1,000. So that meant my 2 giant loans are paid off now. Now I just, owe money to my mom. But that was so exhilarating. Oh my God.